The crowd roared beneath the glowing lights of the stadium, anticipation hanging thick in the air as the Seattle Seahawks faced off against the Houston Texans. From the first snap, it was clear this would not be an ordinary game. It would be a battle of grit, precision, and willpower. Houston's offense tried to find rhythm early, but the Seahawks' defense struck fast. Drake Thomas read the play perfectly, slicing through the chaos to drag the runner down for a 3-yard loss. The roar of the crowd grew louder. Seattle's energy was electric, its defense alive and hunting. On 3rd and long, chaos unfolded again. Houston's quarterback dropped back, the pocket collapsing around him. He scrambled desperately, but was brought down just outside the end zone by Duoso, who stormed through the line like a storm breaking against the shore. The Texans had no room to breathe. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, Seattle's offense found rhythm in the storm. Under the direction of their third offensive coordinator in 3 years, Clint Kubiak, a man who knew Sam Darnold's tendencies well, the Seahawks began to press downfield. Darnold scanned the field, saw his chance, and launched a dart down the sideline. Wide open, the rookie tight end Ayo, a deep threat from Miami, hauled it in before being forced out of bounds. It was a statement throw, a message that Seattle had come to dominate. Moments later, the Seahawks lined up heavy, 6 offensive linemen on the field, 1st and goal. Zach Charbonnet, powerful and unrelenting, took the handoff, hesitated for just a heartbeat, then drove forward with brutal force. The pile surged toward the end zone, bodies colliding, and when the dust settled, touchdown. No penalty flags, no hesitation. Seattle had punched through Houston's line and imposed their will. The drive had been clinical, a short field, a few sharp passes to Ayo, and then a hammer blow from Charbonnet. It was Seattle football in its purest form, disciplined, punishing, inevitable. Darnold, calm and confident, looked like a man fully at home. His connection with Cooper Kupp was instant and electric. A play fake drew the defense in, and Darnold fired deep downfield. Kupp caught it in stride, slicing through the secondary. Houston's defenders chased shadows, trying desperately to hold the line. But mistakes mounted for the Texans. A costly penalty backed them into a corner. They couldn't afford another misstep. And then, as if scripted, Darnold delivered again, this time to Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Under heavy pressure, he stood tall, took the hit, and threw a perfect strike to the end zone. Touchdown. JSN celebrated with fire, flags flying for the exuberance, but it didn't matter. The score stood. Seattle was in control. Darnold's poise was otherworldly. Under duress, he froze defenders with his eyes, shifted the pocket, and dropped throws that defied reason. Houston could only watch as Seattle's offense unfolded like a symphony, deliberate, relentless, beautiful in its destruction. Neither team had found consistency on 3rd downs. Both stood at 0 conversions, trading failed drives and missed opportunities. But then, with quiet precision, Sam Darnold broke the deadlock. On 3rd and long, he delivered a laser to the sideline. Jaxon Smith-Njigba slipped between defenders, catching the ball with grace and balance before stepping out for a 19-yard gain. The silence in the Houston crowd said it all. Seattle had found their rhythm, and momentum was shifting fast. With 2 minutes left before halftime, Darnold orchestrated another march downfield. Charbonnet, the unstoppable engine, took the handoff, breaking through tackles as Houston defenders clawed at the ball. He refused to yield, dragging the pile to midfield for 15 bruising yards. Every carry felt like a statement. Seattle was no longer testing Houston's defense. They were dismantling it. And then came disaster for the Texans. Quarterback Stroud dropped back, feeling the pocket collapse around him. He tried to force a pass down the middle, but the pressure swallowed him whole. The throw came out off balance, off-timed, and into the waiting arms of Jones, who returned it down to the 15-yard line. A dagger through Houston's momentum, the turnover they could least afford. Seattle smelled blood. On 4th down, instead of settling, Darnold gambled. He faked the handoff, set his feet, and dropped a perfect pass across the middle. Smith-Njigba again, gliding through traffic, catching it in stride. It wasn't just execution. It was confidence, dominance, artistry. Houston's special teams tried to respond. Milani's return offered a spark, slicing out near the 40-yard line. But it was short-lived. Seattle's defense returned to the field like wolves, collapsing every pocket, closing every lane. On the very next drive, Darnold unleashed another masterpiece, a strike threading through coverage, impossible to defend. Even the commentators could only marvel. What a throw, what a play. Every motion seemed effortless now, every decision preordained. When Jason Myers lined up for a 47-yard field goal, redemption hung in the air. His previous kick had been blocked, but this one soared true. Through the uprights, clean and confident, the crowd erupted. Seattle's dominance was now absolute. Late in the third quarter, the offense lined up heavy once again. Charbonnet took the ball and ran behind a wall of blockers. Untouched, unstoppable, walking into the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. The scoreboard reflected what everyone in the stadium could feel. The game had tilted completely in Seattle's favor. The Texans' sideline grew tense, the crowd restless. Every play now carried the weight of inevitability. Their offense trotted back onto the field, only to face another defensive storm. Pressure came from all directions. Safety Tayo blitzed clean through, striking Stroud before he could even set his feet. The hit echoed like thunder, and the quarterback crumpled beneath it. Seattle's defense was ruthless, disciplined yet merciless. Houston tried to adjust, but every time they moved the ball, a wall of blue and green awaited them. Then came Kenneth Walker. Motioning across the line, he took the handoff, found daylight behind perfect blocking, and turned on the Jets. The burst was electric. 13 yards in a flash, momentum roaring behind him. Walker wasn't done. Another quick burst, another tackle broken, another reminder that Seattle's offense had endless layers. The Seahawks were no longer just leading, they were commanding.